The all-new 2024 Model 3 lineup is absolutely incredible. You've got the new design on the outside, you've got the new interior on the inside, way more features, and a stellar performance model. So, does that mean the old Model 3 is bad and not worth your time or money? The older, now pre-refresh Model 3 is still super popular, and if you're looking to buy a used EV these days, especially a used Tesla, this is probably what you're looking at and probably wondering, is it still worth it or not? And since I still own one and drive one, I thought I'd break down the 10 things you need to know about this older Model 3 and whether or not it's still worth it in 2024, and also give a huge thanks to Recurrent for sponsoring this video. One of the things I love doing most on this channel is talking about all the new stuff coming next from Tesla, all the FSD updates and the software updates, the big Model Y Juniper refresh, Cybertruck, all of that is so much fun, but oftentimes I think that I'm doing a disservice by not covering the more mundane and day-to-day stuff that's still super important. Like every time I walk into my garage, I see my Model 3 rear-wheel drive sitting there. It's now the older one, it's not as exciting, it's not the refresh, and it's not a bad car, but I think many, when they're doing their research, are sort of wondering, is that model still worth it in 2024? If I was gonna buy a used EV, is this the model I should even look at or consider? Should I look at the new one? And I thought maybe it'd be time to sort of revisit that model, tell you some pros and cons about it, and whether or not it's still worth your time in 2024. And just a little background on the vehicle that I've got, this is a Model 3 rear-wheel drive 2022. I actually got lucky. This was the model that came out right before Tesla removed ultrasonic sensors, so it does have the ultrasonic sensors on there, but I also got this car at the absolute worst time. This is like peak Tesla pricing, so for all of you out there negatively affected by the price cuts, I feel with you with a heavy heart because for what I paid for this car, you can get one now for way, way cheaper and a way better car for the price, which I guess sort of leads me to the first thing to consider here is that if you are looking for a new Tesla, the new Model 3 is better in almost every single way. Not every way is it better, and I'll get to some of the drawbacks in a moment, but if you're looking at a bit of an older vehicle, you're looking at this design, which has its own advantages and disadvantages that we should discuss. Let's start with the first thing that you're gonna notice about this older Model 3, something that's gonna be a big deal for some, not a big deal for others, and that is design, because while this car is still very much a Tesla and has all the Tesla DNA, it does look older and a bit dated compared to the newer Model 3, which of course has sort of a redesigned front and a redesigned back. Really, the big differences here aren't substantial, but it's going to be the taillights. There's sort of a new taillight design on the new Model 3, and then also the headlights as well. The car, I think, is a little bit longer on the newer model here, but really it's going to be very, very similar. Here are the older headlights here. Some people think look like eyes. Again, some people like them, some people hate them. But overall, the cars are going to be very, very similar. You're still going to get a car that very much feels like a Tesla. And also, I will say again, besides a little bit more of length with the car, you're getting basically the exact same size car. So you're getting the same amount of front space, the same amount of trunk space. There are very, very minor differences here. So still, you know, design-wise, you're still getting a very sleek car that, again, has all that Tesla DNA that you're going to want. And just to show you what I mean by that, if you're looking at getting one of these cars and you're curious about what the space is going to be like, again, you're getting plenty of space. So here is the front part, which I actually have packed full with some older floor mats and an emergency kit. But again, you can see it's full there and works. And then also, again, tons of trunk space in the back. Obviously, the Model Y is going to give you a bit of an easier time loading things in and out. But as you can see, dirt and all, this is a trunk that does get used. You're getting trunk space here. You've got a little pocket here for storing some things. You've got a nice amount of sub-trunk space down there as well. So plenty of space here to haul your belongings, and even at least in some of the newer ones, 2022, a powered frunk as well. Some of the older Model 3s don't have that, though I believe you can get it retrofitted, but again, plenty of space here with this Model 3. So on the outside, design-wise, this car is still going to look very much like a Tesla, even in 2024, but I think the real big difference maker here, where you're really going to notice the difference for better or worse, is going to be on the inside with the interior, because this is where you start to see this one show its age a bit compared to the newer, flashier stuff in the all-new Model 3. And that's not to say the interior of this vehicle is bad, it's just not going to be as fresh and modern as the new Model 3. The big thing I think that some people love and some people hate is going to be the wood trim here. So you've got a wood trim piece that runs all the way from one side of the vehicle to the other, also wraps around onto the doors as sort of a later edition Tesla did. I believe in 2022 is when they started to do this. And I should say that while you can get covers for this, you can get carbon fiber covers, you can get colored covers. I'll leave a couple options down below. Some people just don't like the way this wood looks, and obviously Tesla heard those complaints as well, because the new Model 3 doesn't have that. It has wraparound RGB lighting, it has all new dashboard material, so that is something to consider. But I will say, besides that, you are getting basically the exact same Tesla experience because you've got the same screen, you're running the exact same software, you have access to all the same apps, you've got access to the same streaming services. All that's going to be exactly the same. And especially in these vehicles with AMD Ryzen processors, everything is fast, it's smooth, I can move things around, I can navigate. I've never once had an issue where the vehicle, sort of felt slow. So you're getting the exact same Tesla experience, you're getting all the same cameras around the car as well, and even access to all the full self-driving stuff. If I know where to go here in autopilot, full self-driving supervised, auto park, all that's going to work exactly the same in this model. And if you are looking to pick up one of these pre-refresh Model 3s for yourself, or maybe you know someone in your life who's looking to get one of these things, like I mentioned in the intro of this video, you're probably looking at the used market, which is not a bad way to go at all. But I will say, if you are looking at a used Model 3 or really any used EV, stop what you're doing right now, click that link right down below to head to Recurrent's website, because they've got a totally free tool that you've got to take advantage of that lets you pop in a VIN number and see what the potential health of the battery is in the EV you're looking to potentially buy. And if you haven't heard of Recurrent before, it is an amazing platform with some incredible free tools for EV owners that are here to help you through your entire EV ownership process. There's that one-time report if you're looking to just quickly pop in a VIN and check the status of a used EV. If you own an EV, you want to keep tabs on it sort of every single month automatically. They've got an amazing free monthly battery report delivered to your inbox every single month, loaded with insights. And also, if you're looking to sell your EV, Recurrent is going to make this process super, super simple, not just by allowing you to potentially get some offers in just a couple of simple clicks by dealerships who really understand the importance of an EV and sort of a healthy EV battery, but also potentially earning you more money thanks to the health of your EV battery. They've been recently working with big valuation companies to give better estimates for used EVs. For example, most would assume like an older 2019 Model 3 must have a battery that's totally shot, but honestly, that's probably most of the time not the case. This is great news for EV owners and for Recurrent users, because now any car that has been connected to Recurrent or verified by one of their partners gets an instant value bump when the VIN is checked, reflecting that used EVs aren't something to be always afraid of. If you guys want to learn more, check out Recurrent for yourself and check out all the amazing free tools they've got just for you. Hit the link right down below to learn more and check out Recurrent for yourself today. I should also mention that one advantage to this older design is that you do also have stocks. This is something that Tesla is getting rid of on their newer models, or they've gotten rid of it on the new Model 3. It'll also be getting rid of it on the new Model Y as well. And basically, instead of sort of using your stocks for turn signals and putting the car into reverse or drive and all that stuff, you're doing that now on the screen with the swipe gesture, or there's, I think, a built-in sort of emergency, physical buttons up here, but really they want you to rely on the screen and their automatic software. That's not the case with these older Teslas. They've got your regular round wheel, they've got their click buttons, you've got physical stocks. So if you're a fan of the physical stocks, you will actually appreciate that in this older, dated Model 3. I also should mention that some of the center consoles are going to be very, very similar to the new one. You've got basically the same sort of or I should say a very similar design. Obviously, I've got my sexy knob here that's going to add some extra functionality. This is an aftermarket thing, but center console, wireless charger, all very, very similar. And really, windshield and every other part of the car here is very, very similar, except for the back. Not only does Tesla say they sort of refined the backseat experience a little bit, but one of the big drawbacks to this older Model 3 is right here. In the new Model 3, you actually have a screen back here for watching movies, controlling media, controlling your air vents, and here you don't. You basically just have your air vents back here that are actually just sort of, up and down, left to right, your very basic functionality. You do get USB-C ports, but that's going to be it, where you do get a little bit of a better backseat experience in the new Model 3. So if you do have a lot of backseat passengers, it might be worth it for that, just to give them a better experience. But that is something to sort of keep in mind. Not a bad experience. I can shut the door here and you flip the camera around here, and I'm 5'11", and I have plenty of room back here, and it's comfortable and it's fine. I've got plenty of leg room back here too. But if I was a backseat passenger in a Model 3 on a regular basis, I would like the screen back here would be kind of nice. So something to keep in mind. But yeah, still comfortable. I've got, as I hit the camera on that, I've got a armrest here. I've got my cup holder. So not a bad experience, just a little different. And one of the big points I want to make here is that technically speaking, these older Teslas are functionally the same as the new Model 3s with very few exceptions. If there is a bit of an older Tesla, like pre-2022, they would have the Intel processors, not the AMD Ryzen processors, and those are going to be a little bit slower and also not capable of some of the new features. Though with that said, you still get full access to full self-driving supervised, all the amazing new features, and all the new and improved FSD features there as well. But if you're looking at like a 2022 or 2023 Model 3, those are functionally exactly the same. They've got the same processor running all the same apps. They do have older cameras. Most of these vehicles, I believe, are hardware 3 and not hardware 4, though I could be wrong on that, but the full self-driving system is going to work exactly the same. If you're looking for a good Tesla experience, don't be afraid that you're going to miss out on getting that with a used Tesla. Yes, the Intel processor is going to be a little bit more limited as we go with future software updates, but as long as you can confirm that your vehicle has a AMD Ryzen processor, at least the one you're looking at, then you're going to be set and good to go, because that's still what Tesla's using in their brand new 2024 flagship vehicles. Even the $100,000, $120,000 Cybertruck and Model X and S, those all got the same processors as those Model 3s. And like I alluded to earlier, I think the big advantage here of the new Model 3 is going to be those creature comforts. While there are some downsides, the stalks I know is a big thing for many of you out there. If you're looking for like a more comfortable and luxurious car for 2024, this is going to be objectively better. You're getting a more refined experience, a little bit more room in the back. You've got a rear screen in the back. You've got a larger, brighter front screen. Actually, not larger, but I think a little bit brighter and faster. You've got the cooled ventilated seats, which is really nice. You've got the new dashboard material, RGB ambient lighting. You've got better glass. You've got an improved suspension for a quieter, more comfortable ride. It's just going to be a better Tesla experience. And if you do value those creature comforts and you value some of the newer stuff and you want a car just a little bit newer, that's going to be one of the big advantages of the new Model 3. Where it isn't going to be better is going to be with price, because unless you're looking at the performance model, which in and of itself is sort of expensive, none of these vehicles are going to qualify for the federal tax credit. So if you go standard range or you go long range, you're paying the full pop of what it is, minus any local or state incentives there. But the performance one does qualify, but again, that's still sort of in a bit of a higher price category of things to consider. Though I should mention the one big caveat to that is that if you decide to lease, if you're open to leasing a vehicle, Tesla does have some pretty good lease deals going on right now. And that's mainly because there's a loophole that allows them to pass the federal tax credit through the lease and factor that into the lease price. So I think with a couple thousand down, you can get a Model 3 standard range, rear-wheel drive, or whatever they're calling it these days, for like $300 a month, which is a really, really good deal. So that is something to keep in mind. Though with that said, if you're looking to save a significant amount of money and go with the used market, you're probably looking at these Model 3s. And as I go through this video and say these points, I hope that it's clear what I'm trying to communicate, and that is that the older Model 3, there it is back there, is still a really great car. Yes, there are some really nice creature comforts of the new vehicle. Yes, the performance model is great and all that stuff. But one of the big downsides as of right now is that it doesn't qualify for that federal tax credit if you buy it outright. And I think that really forces a lot of people to look at the used market. And when you do that, you're probably looking at this car back here. And I just want to be clear that you're still getting a really great car. As long as the battery is in tip-top shape and in good condition, you're going to get a car that still has plenty of technology, still a really really comfortable ride and going to be a great sort of EV experience for you. You know, you're missing some of the creature comforts, you're missing some of the new stuff, but still a really, really great car that I know that you're gonna love, and definitely still worth your time, consideration, and your hard-earned money too. So I think ultimately what I really love about Tesla is that they have a very unified experience. And I love that the technology here provides a great experience and even works really well on older cars. Yes, we are starting to sort of see a transition here where some of the newer stuff, like with the Spring update, only works on the newer processors. But even then, as long as you've got sort of a newish Model 3, 2022 or 2023, you're gonna be just fine. And while yes, it doesn't have some of the creature comforts you'd find in the higher end models, and while the design might be old by 2024 standards, you're still getting a really great car. And assuming that you can find one with a healthy battery thanks to Recurrent, and assuming you can find a good deal, you're going to be extremely happy with one of these Model 3s for years and years to come. You're still getting a breakthrough cutting edge experience. You're getting all the creature comforts of owning a Tesla. You're getting the giant screen, the software, the performance. You're getting a really, really great car. As much as I'd love a Model 3, the new one, and enjoy all the high-end features, I've got to say the one I still have, every single time I get in it, I love driving it. I'm reminded all the time why I've got it and why I love Teslas so much. So I'm curious for you guys. I want to know your thoughts down below. What are your thoughts on this? For those of you out there who own the pre-refresh Model 3, what are your thoughts? What are your likes? What are your dislikes? And for those of you out there who are looking to buy used EV, drop your question down below. And also for my Model 3 owners, even my Model Y owners or S or X or Cybertruck, all you Tesla owners watching this video, drop some advice down below for those looking to buy a used EV or EV in general, what you wish you knew before you bought. And I'll pick a couple of you guys and do a giveaway as a thank you. Of course, all you gotta do is drop that comment below, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and you'll be entered to win. Also, just want to give a big thanks to Masterworks for sponsoring and supporting this channel. They have got over 400 artworks in their collection from names you've heard of: Picasso, Warhol, and Banksy. And as the economy right now is up and down and up and down, you're probably looking for a different investment strategy. And one of the best places to actually put your money is in fine art. Billionaires know it, banks know it, and now you can get a piece of the action as well. Masterworks makes it so simple, so easy. Over 900,000 users have signed up, and if you want to get immediate access, skip that wait list. All you've got to do is scan the QR code on screen right there, or head to masterworks.art/Rosenfeld to learn more and get started today. And again, skip that waitlist and get immediate access right now. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much for your support. You guys are amazing. Thank you all. I'm Robert Rosenfeld, and I'll see you all in the next one.